Good evening. Hey, you know what? This is my first live break on the air. I'm going to open up a box of 1993 Bowman baseball. Hopefully these guys don't stick together. We're going to give it a try. If there's anything in particular out of here that you're looking for that you see as I open them up, you know what? Just drop me a message and I'd be happy to, or drop a comment below. Be happy to help you out, let you know what I have here. But again, this is a 1993 Bowman baseball. So we're going to look for those special engraved foil cards as well. And hopefully, again, these guys aren't sticking together. Of course, those 1990 cards have a tendency to do that. And we get 14 cards per pack. There's 24 cards in the box, or 24 packs in the box. And we'll go ahead and get started here and see what we get. All right. Looks like we've got a John Cummins, Bob Hamlin. They're flipped around a little bit here. These are the foil inserts. That's a Justin Thompson. We got a Brant Brown, a Damian Easley. We got a Pat Kelly, the Jose Vidro. We got Darren Dalton. We got a Hall of Famer, Dave Winfield. A nice Hall of Famer there. Of course, we got Neon Deion Sanders. It's a nice one. And Brett Butler. Jason Pfaff. Steve Pegus. And then we've got a Royce Clayton. So that's our first pack down. Nothing too spectacular except for that Winfield there. We're going to go on to our second pack now. And we've got Brad Pennington, Albie Lopez, Ron Darling, Willie Green, Benji Simonton, Paul Fletcher, Troy O'Leary. That's another one of the foil cards. Mickey Tettleton, and Jimmy Haynes, Doug Jones, Tom Pagnozzi, Ozzie Timmons, Bernie Williams, and Bill Swift, rounding out that second pack. We got pack 3 here. We got a Howard Johnson, Donovan Osborne, Ryan Hoblitzel. We got a Donnie Elliott, Tom Candiotti. We got Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, Dave McCarty, Paul Sorrento, Eric Davis, Mark Grace, Al Martin, Rick Sutcliffe, Kevin Apier, Willie Banks. So not too bad so far. 2 Hall of Famers out of these couple packs that we've opened so far. Nothing really significant rookie card wise. We've got Dan Smith, Mike Moeller. We've got Jesse Hollins, Got a Ryan Klesko, Mike Lieberthal, John Burke, Willie Green, Hall of Famer Alan Trammell. You got Ozzie Guillen. He should be a Hall of Famer, but he's not. Shane Andrews, Jeff Juden. Got a Billy Ashley, Dave Nielsen, Jose Mercedes. We've got Kevin E. Carlisle, Steve Cook. We've got a Tino Martinez, Hall of Famer Lee Smith, Derek Lee, Marty Neff. It's a nice Tim Salmon, Doug Tassenzo, Orlando Merced, Mark Kiefer, Melito Perez, one of my favorites from the Oakland A's, Terry Steinbach. We've got a Jason Kendall. That should be his rookie card. It is his rookie year. And we've got Tony Pena. No Derek Jeter in this particular set, unfortunately. And it's a Tanyan Sturtz. One thing with the rookie cards here in the Bowmans in the early and mid-90s, most of them never panned out. Gene Shaw, Scott Sanders, Tracy Sanders, Otavo Alvarez, Scott Brow, Alex Gonzalez. We've got a BJ Surhoff, Steve Bichelle, Joe Oliver, and of course Bernard Gilkey. We have some of our viewers that may like that. He is a running joke here in the online communities. So there's Bernard Gilkey. Carlos Quintana, Rafael Palmeiro. Probably will never make the Hall of Fame due to the PEDs and the steroid use. So unfortunately, his career tainted by that. Ed Lance Painter. These are nice looking cards. Bowman always come out with a nice looking product, pretty much from 92 onward. They really started to kill it. Oh, there we go. Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett, rest in peace. Died way too young. But Kirby Puckett. Scott Puce. And we got a Kevin Rogers. Ty Van Berkeld. Mike Bordick. Harold Reynolds, Mark Newfield. Arthur Rhodes. Mike Milchin. Tony Mitchell, Scott Cooper, Mike Draper. It's a nice Cecil Fielder right there. Not a Hall of Famer, but definitely one of the great sluggers of the era. And of course, we have Hall of Famer there. We have Dave Justice. All right, moving on here. We've got Jim Pena, Moises Alou. Got Andy Bennis, Charlie Hayes, Glenn Allen Hill, Rob Butler, Jason Beer, Ken Hill. There's a Brett Boone, a member of the Boone family. Dave Magadan, Rob Natal, Tom Henke. Oh, there we go. There's a great card. Ricky Henderson, Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson. in his A's uni, and a Ray McDavid. All right, next pack we have a Pat Listash of Aaron Seeley. Domingo Jean, Doug Drabeck, Frank Viola. He was one of the good pitchers of his days. Again, not a Hall of Famer, but always consistent year by year. We have Raul Mondesi. He had a few good years in the majors. He was a top prospect at this time. I don't believe that this is his rookie card. Kevin Reimer. We have Carlos Garcia. We have an Ellis Burks. Larry Walker. He should be making the Hall of Fame very soon. His rookie cards you're going to find in the 1990 cards. Most notable 1990 Leaf. Leo Gomez. Edgar Martinez. And Joe Mack. Oh, I see a Hall of Famer on the back of this pack. We have a Jeff Kent. Here's a guy who maybe one day might make the Hall of Fame. With Don Slott. We have Luis Lopez. And there's a Steve Carsey. Nate Minchie. Not a Hall of Famer, but a great player indeed. That's a Joe Carter. Oh, this is a really nice card. We have the McRae's, Hal and Brian McRae. And it's a father-son combination. One of 4 father-son combinations who were on the same team in 1993. Hal McRae, Major League outfielder from 68 through 87. And he was the Royals manager in 91. And Brian McRae came to the Major Leagues in 1990. So father-son, or father managed his son on the same team, the Kansas City Royals. That's a pretty cool card. Brandon Wilson. We have a Darrell Hamilton. Aaron Holbert. There we go. Roger Clemens. Not a Hall of Famer. Again, the PED controversy has held him back on the voting, but hopefully the voters will give him his well-deserved nod soon enough into Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens. We have a Rick Williams and Dave Holtz. And as I said earlier, the back of that pack, we had a nice Carlton Fisk, Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk. Oh, Delino DeShields, his son now, a player in the Blue Jays organization, Delino DeShields Jr. So doing pretty good out there. Joe Ciccarella. We have a George Fabregas, Tom Kramer, Pedro Borbon. He is looking a little older there. Pedro Borbon, Ron Watson, Joe Vitiello, Ken Ramos. There we go, Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell. Very nice card. Todd Jones, Hector Carrasco, Ryan Thompson, George Bell, and Joey Reed. All right, we have Gerald Clark, Bloss Minor. We have a Calvin Reese, Pedro Estacio, Chadogaya, Joey Eshian, Marty Cordova, Mike Henneman, Chuck Knobloch, Solomon Torres, Andujar Cedeno, Johnny Ruffin, Kevin Brown. He had quite a few good years, and then the last card in that pack was Spike Owen. We have Mike Matthews, Mike O'Quist, and then we have a Walt Weiss, one of my favorites. Of course, he ended up on the Florida Marlins. I want to say as part of their expansion draft. Actually, he was acquired in a trade with the A's. So, but he was one of my favorites. Great fielding shortstop. Not a Hall of Famer, but he was an excellent fielder and really was great for the team there. Trip Cromer, Sean Estes, Kevin Higgins. Some people may remember this guy. Big time bust when he was drafted by the Yankees, Brian Taylor. Guy was a huge bust. We have a Felix Jose. Oh, there we go. Hall of Famer. George Brett, Hall of Famer. And not a Hall of Famer, but someone who knew how to play the game. It was lights out on the mound. Back in the late 80s, early 90s for the Dodgers, Oral Hershiser. Sid Fernandez. Frank Seminara. Danny Batista. And then, of course, here is a player that should be in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully he makes it in one of these days. The Crime Dog, Fred McGriff. And we're almost to the end of this box here. Maybe about halfway through. Maybe a little more. Get these cards flipped over and make it a little bit easier so we're not doing it all the way through. And the great thing is these cards are not sticking. All right, here we go. We've got Graham Lloyd. Oh, here we go for our foil card. Not a bad one at all. Look at that. Manny Ramirez. Probably the best foil that we've had out of the box so far. A nice Manny. Not his rookie card. His rookie card was in the 92 Bowman. But for a foil card, can't complain right there. Turk Wendell. Mike Farrell. Cliff Floyd. DJ Thielen. Brian Conroy. Avon Calderon. Terry Pendleton. Scott Fletcher. Melvin Nieves. Luis Gonzalez, and Roy Hobart and Kevin Mitchell. All right, and right now, next in this pack, we have a Norm Charlton, a Dwayne Ward, Joe Gray, and we have Hall of Fame pitcher Trevor Hoffman. Other lights out, closing games, getting saves. We have a Tony Melendez, another great player here. Not a Hall of Famer, but that is Paul O'Neill. There's a Jim Tatum, Richie Lewis. All right, again, another player who's not a Hall of Famer, and it may be one of those players that may take quite some time to get in. He is already off the ballots, and probably will have to be put in by the veterans at some point. The steroid use probably is going to hurt his chances in the long term, but a player deserving nonetheless. We're in the green and gold there, which makes me happy. Big Mac, Mark McGuire. We have Domingo Martinez, Rick Aguilera, Mike Greenwell, Mike McFarland, John O'Donohue. I see another Hall of Famer on the back of this one. All right, Sean Bergman, Luis Ortiz, Willie Green, Benji Simonton, Paul Fletcher, Bobby Munoz, Ray McDavid, Les Norman, Robbie Thompson, Jose Martinez, Brant Brown, Glenn Davis, and Jeff Darwin. So nobody exciting there, but this last one, as I said, Hall of Famer, and it's Ryan Sandberg. Hall of Famer from the Cubs. Ryan Sandberg. Very nice looking card. Nice thing is these cards are all packed fresh. They look sharp. And again, of course, junk wax era. Not always a lot of value in them, but those 92 and on Bowmans, just nice looking, slick looking cards that they came out with. All right, next pack we have a Dan Cefarini, Scott Livingston, and I will go ahead and flip these ones around really quick. And look at that, Wade Boggs, Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. All right, we have Paul Bird, Juan Bell, Kenny Felder, Carlos Delgado. That's another nice foil card that we got. Carlos Delgado was always a great player. Move things around here a little bit. Juan Valentin. There we go. Kurt Schilling. Somebody who will hopefully make the Hall very soon. Carlos Baerga. So we got a really good pack here. Mark Gardner, Lou Whitaker, another one of those all-time greats. And again, players maybe not in the Hall of Fame, but probably should be. And of course, Denny Martinez. People are familiar with who Denny Martinez is. Again, not a Hall of Famer, but El Presidente. And it looks like we're almost down to the bottom. This will be after this. We'll have 6 packs left. So hopefully we'll get this done before the 30-minute mark. Always good to keep these videos in under 30 minutes. Otherwise, everybody kind of just turns them off. So I hope you don't. This is my first video that I'm posting here. And hopefully we're going to do more. Please click that like button. Please click subscribe. And we will hopefully keep doing more of these. Eventually, what I'm going to do is set up a Patreon page. My goal is to do breaks where you can buy in and also do live auctions as well. We have Ron Darling. We have Todd Hundley, Jimmy Gonzalez, Tavo Alvarez, Scott Brow, Scott Sanders, Cliff Floyd. There we go. There's a Hall of Famer. We have Alan Trammell. Hall of Famer Alan Trammell. And then we have an Ozzie Gann, Shane Andrews, Jeff Juden, Billy Ashley, Dave Nielsen, and Jose Mercedes. So we have seen a few doubles so far here. I am also planning on, having different types of deals. I'll probably be going to one of my local flea markets from time to time in search of cards, seeing what we can find. And then, of course, I am starting to do through-the-mail autographs, so I'll be posting my results from those as well to see who we get. Not a lot of the major players that I'm going to be sending out to, probably some of the veterans and lesser-known players, and some players who live nearby me. Right, B.J. Wallace, Eric Karros, Denny Hawking, Daryl Sherman, Roger Bailey, Freddie Benavidez, Jesse Hollins, Brian Colling, Darren Fletcher, little Tim Wakefield, Derek Wallace, Juan Guzman, Chris Pritchett. There we go. There's Donnie Baseball, not in the Hall of Fame. Some say he should be. I am one of those. Was one of those greats back in the 80s. Watched him growing up. Always hitting home runs. And if you look at his numbers there, in his career at this time, he had 192 dingers and had a pretty decent average. Actually, had a really good average. He had a .311 batting average, which is a pretty solid average for a career. You know, Donnie Baseball. All right, just 5 packs left here. Sorry about that. One of my cards fell down back there. My Mo Berg rookie card. All right, let's see here. We got Cal Eldred. We got James Baldwin. We got Jeff Russell. We got Greg Perkle. Tim Laker. Ron Blazier. Oh, here we go. Talk about Major League bust. Todd Van Poppel. This guy came up for the A's, was supposed to be a major big success, and turned out to be a bust. Todd Van Poppel. Essentially, the A's at that time, they were trying to rush their pitching prospects up way too fast into the majors, and it didn't quite work out for them. They have Greg Vaughn, Darryl Whitmore, Brent Bowers, and there we go. There's a Hall of Famer, Cal Ripken Jr. That's a great Hall of Famer. Can't beat that one right there. Les Norman, Robbie Thompson again, and Jose Martinez. All right, down to the last 4 packs. All right, we got a Tim Belcher. We got a Chris Snopek. Steve Carsey. Travis Fryman. Joe Carter. Tracy Sanders. Tim Clark. Arthur Rhodes. Mike Milchin. Tony Mitchell, Scott Cooper, Mike Draper, Cecil Fielder, and Dave Justice. So once again, getting some doubles here as we get toward the bottom of our box. I'll kind of show you my little stack of Hall of Famers that we did get going here today. Ooh, this one's going to give us some trouble here. All right. 2 packs to go after this. And one thing we haven't seen yet is a Barry Bonds. Not sure if Barry Bonds is actually in this particular set from Bowman. But we got a Bobby Jones, Sid Bream, Randy Myers, Bob Tewksbury, Orlando Miller, Roberto Mejia. There's a Robbie Alomar. That's a Hall of Famer for you, Roberto Alomar. Wanda Rosa, Jason Bates, Geronimo Pena, Jim Abbott. Awesome card there. Jim Abbott played baseball with only one hand. If you look how he's holding his glove there, he's actually kind of holding it and then having to throw with his other hand. He doesn't have his fingers actually in the glove. And we have a Benji Gill and Brian Williams. All right, 2 packs left. All right, we have a Frank Rodriguez, James Newton, Gerald Williams. There we go. There's a Hall of Famer. We got Harold Baines. Harold Baines. Great player. Great career there, Harold Baines. Todd Stottlemyre. Mike Holtzimer. Bubba Smith. There we go. There's a Jose Canseco for us. Not in the Hall of Fame. Of course, Jose Canseco admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs. Probably, most likely, we'll keep him out of the Hall of Fame pretty much forever. There we go. Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge, Hall of Famer. Got a Danny Tartable, Mike Hampton, Glenn Davis, Jeff Darwin, and once again, Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg. And we're down to our last pack here. And so we did go over that 30-minute mark just a hair, but we'll go ahead and get this one wrapped up. And move on. All right, Damon Buford, Scott Hatteberg. Scott Hatteberg was one of those players who, if you remember that A's win streak, this was not too many years ago, but Scott Hatteberg was the one who had that game-winning hit in that game. It was pretty awesome. I was actually there to see that. Jose Rijo, Dwayne Singleton. There we go. One of my favorite players of all time, and it's Hall of Famer Ryan Express, Nolan Ryan. Look at that, Nolan Ryan. And Greg Jeffries. He was a player that was supposed to be another big success. Ended up being a bust. Javi Lopez, he had a few good years in the majors. Catcher for the Braves. David New. Mike Trumbley. Tony Phillips. Eric Anthony. Pat Borders. Matt Mayaski, and our final card here is Rick Gorecki. So that closes out this this break. And we didn't do too bad as far as cards here go. Nice little stack of Hall of Famers there. So you can't complain here about that one. Again, not the best product that's out there. But if you are looking for a nice, fairly affordable Bowman product to break, 93 Bowman, can't go wrong with that. Moving forward here, I hope to have more of these breaks moving forward. Hope to have some buy-ins. If you saw any cards today that you're interested in, go ahead, drop a comment below. Let me know what you're looking for, and we'll see what we can work out. And please feel free to subscribe, hit that like button. I'm trying to get this channel built up and do a lot of different things here. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.